So WNBA rookies face a harsh reality, right? Many are drafted, most don't make teams. The majority of the players who hear their names called and go up and accept that honor and have that moment in their lives don't make the roster of the team that selected them. And that goes for the Indiana Fever as well, where there's a bunch of rookies who are being celebrated and introduced. They picked three, but they're not all going to make the final roster just as a matter of the salary cap space and the current roster commitments. I mean, Jalen Brown was also introduced by the Fever in a video today, or shown by the Fever in a video today, and she's on a training camp contract. Jillian Aileen is on a training camp contract, and none of the Fever rookies are guaranteed to make the team because a lot of these players are battling for what seems to be essentially one spot, maybe two as the season goes along, once they get past a certain threshold. But when you do see the rookies come in, you can't help but get a little excited, especially when the team shows some footage of them establishing a connection with one Caitlin Clark. The rookie class was in the lab, Leah Boston there as well. As you can see there's Michaela Timpson talking to AB, Ejim, Hall, Caitlin, bounce pass, Timpson, finish. There's Ejim, Hall getting some work in, little spin move, three ball. And Timpson, she just got the hops. That's one of the things that stands out. Hall goes baseline there. Hall gets the feed from Clark and finishes. And there's the one that everybody's going to be talking about because the way Timpson was able to handle that pass from Caitlin that was a little off, a little awry, just a bit, right? And that's where that wingspan comes in and that leaping ability comes in and her ability as a rim runner and a leaper, not to mention what she can do defensively. Now, part of the sentiment I've seen is, fans saying they wish they could keep them all. And I do think Bree Hall might fill a more immediate role for the Fever because they don't really have a big guard who can defend or specializes in defending. I mean, maybe you could qualify Lexi Hull in that category, but there is a perhaps need for her, and maybe they can develop her into a 3-and-D sort of player at the WNBA level. But from a talent standpoint, Timpson appears to be the clear standout. She just has the measurables, the eye-popping ability. As I mentioned there, you saw the way she was able to go up and get that lob and make sure that she put it away. Good hands, good finish here. A little off target, corrals it, goes up strong, puts it home. And when you have a player like Caitlin Clark, who is reading the defense and has passing instincts and knows that she can just get the ball up there, that is a nice safety valve. I mean, I think it's part of, the impetus for Brianna Turner coming in, and we'll see how the roster shakes out. I mean, who knows? There always can be a surprise. There's very few players who are guaranteed a spot contractually on the team. But one would think that the basic logic was that all the players that they signed would be staying around and sticking around. As far as the players that they picked, Timpson appears to be the leader in the clubhouse. Here was Amber Cox, the GM of the team. She did a local appearance on a network station and talked about the Fever draft picks. This was shortly after the draft took place.
Pull the balls out and get going.
Oh, yes, it is. So you all just had the WNBA draft, or we all had the WNBA draft, picked up 3 new players. And how are their stats going to complement the roster now?
Yeah, we had second and third round picks this year, so 19, 20, and 33. So we picked a little later than number one, right? Yeah. The last couple of years. So you're a bit at the mercy of what other teams are going to do ahead of you. But we were so pleased with where we landed, picked up Michaela Timpson out of Florida State at number 19. Unbelievable defensive player. She's 6'2", but has a 6'10" wingspan.
Yeah.
She's the only player in the country to average 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So we're really excited about her. Bree Hall out of South Carolina, championship pedigree, was teammates with Aaliyah Boston in South Carolina, won a couple of championships down there. Elite perimeter defender, can really do a lot of things on the defensive end. And then Yvonne Ejim out of Gonzaga at number 33. Great post player, a lot of potential, Canadian national team member. So she's had some international experience. So we're excited to get these players into camp to see what they can do.
So, I mean, the way she spoke about Hall's defense stood out, but more, importantly, the way she talked about Timpson's defense and Timpson's wingspan stuck out to me. I mean, that wingspan is, again, like there are certain things that can be taught, can be learned. There are other things that are just natural abilities that give somebody an edge, right? When you just go and you see it right there for you. There is that wingspan going up to get that Wilson basketball and then getting it under control. And for Clark, again, pick and roll, safety valve. It's called vertical spacing. Basically, when you have a player that can go from point A to point B being the basket, because it spaces the floor in the sense that somebody always has to be attached to that player. So when they're up in the screen and roll action, you have to follow them there. Then you have to follow them here, which allows the ball handler to operate in a little bit more space because, one, they're getting a screen. And then, two, they know that one of the defenders is going to be following the rim diver. Maybe two at times, depending on if there's a switch and there's a size advantage. So that's like the vertical spacing. And then if you use that screen, and even if that's shut down and you're shut down, maybe you have a spray out because of the rotation being out and somebody's open. Kelsey Mitchell's open over in the corner for three or something to that effect. And that's where that kind of player can come in, not to mention as a shot blocker, of course. And then what does a shot block lead to sometimes? Transition the other way. Get it out, get it going. Hopefully Bree Hall eventually maybe turns into somebody who picks pockets and does stuff like that. But what Timpson would be able to do as a rim protector and finisher around the rim, it seems like the potential just leaps off the page with her. And you could hear it sort of in the way Cox spoke about her as well. I won't pretend to know every aspect of the team's financial situation, but the way their cap looks now and, knowing what the minimum salary requirements are, it appears they're only able to keep one player between the training camp contracts and the rookie. But, they could get creative. They could make an unexpected move. And then I think a quirk of it, as they get past a certain point in the season, they might have room on a prorated deal to bring another player back. So they could see, one of the players and say, hey, we really like what you can bring to this team. Just play ball with us and we'll get you on the squad a little bit later in the year. But right now, all the rookies are in camp and they're battling it out. And like I said before, it feels like I said camp. It's technically not camp. It feels like the Fever are holding an early training camp.